And my mother told me there'd be days like this.
Yep.
Let's go.
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah! Here we go. And yes, I have a jacket on in studio. Good morning. Welcome to the tripped out Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. This portion is presented by BetUS.com. BetUS.com, where the game begins. The droid is somewhat awake. I'm somewhat awake. The dog, he's smiling. Why are you smiling this morning?
Because it seems like I'm the one that's the most awake out of everybody.
Ah, shush.
You know what makes it so bad? I
What?
ran out this morning. Well, first of all, I woke back up late after wife gets up, her and daughter get out of here. I figure I'll steal about 5-10 minutes. Turned into 30 minutes. Flew out of here, got breakfast, came back, got the 3-minute warning from you, raced in here with everything except what I went out for.
Oh no.
Coffee.
I grabbed donuts, I grabbed a breakfast burrito, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I come flying in here, and like I said, after Shane gave the 3-minute warning, I'm setting everything up, I'm getting ready to hop in studio, and then I look to my right and I realize there's a cup missing. So I had to go back out to the car, grab this self-made pumpkin spice coffee that I made, and then race back in the house. So we're here and we're ready to get the day started.
This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation.
Are we
Sorry.
really getting started with beating dead horses? I mean, come on here. We're going to
No.
be doing that all
I'm
season.
too tired for this already.
No, you're not. You ain't tired enough. I got a funny story to tell y'all in a minute. Hey, don't forget, log on to youtube.com/@SIT Morning, where you can get all the exclusive clips and interviews, and all of our live shows will start airing there beginning in January. I have one note for this whip around. Sabrina Ionescu and Breanna Stewart have put the New York Liberty on the cusp of their first title as Ionescu drilled a 30-footer with 1 second remaining to lift the New York Liberty to an 80-77 victory in Minneapolis. The Liberty now lead that series 2-1. Speaking of 2-1, the Los Angeles Dodgers, damn it, beat up the New York Mets 8-0.
Bueller.
Walker Bueller. And the Mets were within striking distance. Now I feel they're not within striking distance at all of the NLCS, let alone game 4, which is tonight.
That's all because of Kike and Shohei doing what they do.
Kike Hernandez and Shohei Ohtani.
There's a reason Shohei got a 99 card on MLB The Show 24, and we just saw it last night.
Caitlin Clark continues to set rookie records. She has been named to the All WNBA team as a rookie. Nafessa Collier, the Defensive Player of the Year, and Asia Wilson, the unanimous Most Valuable Player, have also been named to the All WNBA team. Congratulations to all the members. That's our whip around presented by Fanatics. I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat something, have a drink of coffee, and when we come back, we're going to tease a little college football because there's a big game in Austin, Texas this weekend. Chris Dietz will join us for hour 2, but Chris Simpson will join us at the bottom of hour 1 for the Saints and Broncos. I'm going to do what I did last night, and that's go to bed early.
Man, who writes this crap?
I certainly didn't. I certainly didn't. Back in a minute.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE. Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Whether it's the men's college game,
the way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
The women's college game,
and how passionate Ancient Reef was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
The WNBA,
AJ Williams stood 1-2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmaker's blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
All right.
What in the world was that?
I'm scrolling on my feed while we're on break because I'm too tired.
Well, you know what usually happens when we all peruse social media.
Yeah, something crazy happens. We're back. Chris Simpson's on the way. On the way at the bottom of the hour, I beg your pardon. Man, I sat in this chair last night. I didn't even put my feet up. It was about 5 o'clock. And I leaned back in this chair and out I went.
Happens. It happens.
So you know what I did? At 7 o'clock last night, I shut it down.
Can't say I blame you.
I shut it down and I went to bed. I couldn't think of anything I needed to do, although I know I have a ton to do, just like we have a ton to do here this morning.
Yeah, we do.
But I couldn't think of nothing. My wife even came in here and she says, Are you okay? No, I'm not okay. And she gave me a back rub and she says, why don't you just come to bed? That's not a bad idea. So I shut it down and I went to bed.
Brian, imagine how comfortable I am right now in this gaming chair.
You ain't got to tell me twice.
I got a back pillow, okay? I'm gonna pass out like a light once the show's over.
You ain't got to tell me twice. You ain't got to tell me twice.
But what? A lot has been going on, honestly, within the NHL. Congratulations to Evgeny Malkin for hitting 600 games, I think it is. 600.
You just gave us our next segment. Take it.
Evgeny Malkin finally hits 600 games. Evgeny Malkin, 2-time Stanley Cup champion with the Pittsburgh Penguins, back-to-back Stanley Cup champion. I'll correct myself there, as they wanted to think it was 16. No, 16 was the Hawks. It was 17-18 that the Penguins won.
16-17. Hawks won in 15.
It was 16-17? Oh, yeah, because 2018 was the Caps.
Yep.
So it was 16-17 where they beat the Sharks and the Predators in the finals, and both of those winning in 6. And then Sid, the no longer Kid Crosby, gets his 16th, 100th point. So congrats to Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin on both reaching massive milestones. Last night, the Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Buffalo Sabres 6-5 in overtime. Sid the Kid got the game-winning goal at 3:22. The Toronto Maple Fakes beat the Los Angeles Kings 6-2 in a barn burner with John Tavares scoring the 6th goal, but the game-winning goal belongs to Bobby McMahon, which is a former Wichita Thunder. That's my boy. The Bruins, congratulations to them. They finally got their 3rd one of the season over the Colorado Avalanche. The game-winning goal belongs to Hampus Lindholm.
Yeah, well, we still got to
game-winning goal.
We still got to shore up our goalies because we're still having problems between the pipes.
Yeah, Jonas Korpisalo started that game. Actually had a pretty solid game. 22 for 25, 88 save percentage, and was 1 for 1 on shorthanded shots on goal. For anybody who has him in fantasy, he dropped you 17 fantasy points. And the Utah Hockey Club received their 2nd L of the season. Yeah, that's right. They've lost 2 in a row. This one in overtime to the Anaheim Ducks, who are 2-1 right now. And the winner goes to Lucas Carlson, literally 54 seconds into overtime.
Who has surprised you so far?
Who has surprised me? Ooh, that's a good question. I'll give you my surprise winners and my surprise losers.
That works.
My 3 surprise winners right now are the Calgary Flames, who are 4 leading the Pacific. Another one is going to be, of course, the Utah Hockey Club. I didn't expect them to get off to such a hot start. New city and all that. I thought, there'd be at least some sort of adversity there. And they've been on a 4-game road trip. I believe they go play back at home on Saturday against the Bruins is their next home game.
In the Delta Center.
Another one I want to say I'm surprised about is the Penguins because of how much they lost in the offseason. But actually, I'm going to say the Dallas Stars. It's been a while since they started a season 4-0, right? Like, especially after losing one big part of their team, but they still have all of their stars like Jason Robertson, Tyler Seguin, Wyatt Johnson, Jake Ottinger, Rupe Hintz, Logan Stankoven, and even the captain Jamie Benn is still around. He's still kicking.
Jamie Benn is still here?
Yeah, Jamie Benn is still kicking. He's still the captain. The Ben and Sagan duo does not die yet. Now, my surprise losers. The Edmonton Oilers are 1-3 so far in the season, taking L's to the Jets, losing 6-0. The Hawks 5-2, and the Flames 4-1. They barely beat the Flyers last night in a 4-3. And that wasn't even last night. That was 2 nights ago in a 4-3 overtime thriller. Leon Draisaitl getting the game winner there. Coming off a Stanley Cup season, you're going to expect your team to do good, not be bottom of the division.
It's early. I still believe in the Oilers. It's early.
Yeah, but bottom of the league in goals per game, only second in the league in faceoff percentage, near bottom of the league in power play percentage, bottom of the league in penalty kill percentage.
It's early.
Near top of the league in penalty minutes.
I'll say it again. It's early.
It's early,
It's
but
early.
it's not looking good. Especially
look
after
good.
coming off a Stanley Cup season, you make it to the Cup. And I'll be honest, we also did have a rocky start to our season last year. My Panthers had a rocky start. We lost to, I believe, the Jets and the Wild to start our
so
season.
if y'all could have a rocky start and then make it all the way to June, why can't the Oilers?
It's the Oilers.
And
for some reason, because I'm guaranteeing this, the Oilers are going to find an excuse to fire their coach halfway through the season just so they can have a new coach and just claim that it was the new coach that got him back to the finals when really it was just McDavid and Draisaitl.
Mm-hmm.
But another surprise loser, I'm going to say, is the Canucks. They haven't won a single game. They're 0-1-2. At least the Oilers have won a game.
Hey, Vancouver.
3-game losing streak. They lost to the Lightning without Stamkos. They lost to the Flyers, and they lost to the Flames. Their last win was a preseason game against the Oilers. Yeah, I said that. Preseason. Before the season even started, that was their last win. And I'm going to go to the East for this last one. I'm going to say the Sabres, man. Like, they have a strong team. I mean, they beat us. We are their only win right now. And it's not embarrassing when Devin Levi is an insane goaltender, has been an insane goaltender for years, and will be an insane goaltender for years to come, including Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who is their normal starting goalie. It's just defense is my big concern with Buffalo. Yeah, you got the young kid Owen Power, but that's pretty much all you have, because remember, Kyle Okposo, your captain, left for Florida and won a cup with them. So what does Buffalo have to do to finally get back into the playoffs after years of a playoff drought?
When was the last time they were in the playoffs?
Live research before we go to break, I guess.
Yes.
Their last playoff appearance was 2011, which is also the day, which was also the same day or the same year that OBL was killed.
2011. The last
which
time
is
the Buffalo
which is when that Phillies Mets game and everyone was chanting USA.
Yeah, I remember.
But let's take a break.
Yeah, let's. I'll have a present for you when you get back. All right. When we come back, Thursday night football. It's the Saints and the Broncos. And this play-by-play announcer wants no parts of it.
I have hope.
I don't.
Bo Nix gets sat, and we get a different quarterback.
Back in a deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony, or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete.
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
We were always hippies at heart, I guess, and that was one way that we showed it before we became full-time RVers.
And we were definitely living small and minimally.
What made us decide to go with Battleborn was everyone from their top leadership team down to their service department helped us so much the whole way through. Our relationship with Battleborn is so much more than business. And me and Dennis love to jam together. We've played together multiple times, and that's been an awesome transition. Be able to learn so much more about the business. Also, just make some awesome friends.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Need a wake-up call this morning? This portion is brought to you by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. Use the code Snowman to get 15% off of your order. As mentioned, Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. All right, let's get into some football. Time for Simpsons football chatter, and all of our guests appear via the Invader Coffee guest line. And here's Chris joining us this morning. Good morning, Chris.
How's it going? How you guys doing this morning?
We're
doing good, man.
Alive. I'm alive. That's the best I can really give you.
Pretty much.
That's a good thing.
Okay. I want to know who wrote the script for the Thursday night football game that we have tonight.
Yeah, I'm questioning myself. I'm questioning that too.
I'm tempted to make a sign that just says, "Hey, it's Goodell."
He's not wrong there.
No, he's not wrong. But
I really don't know what works. I don't know what works.
I'll give Goodell credit for that one Thursday night game, the single good one we've had in the last 5 years.
That was
you know what's funny?
The Falcons game.
You know what's funny? I was just telling somebody a couple of weeks ago, if I had to make a change with anything in the National Football League, it would be to push Thursday night football all the way back until Thanksgiving. So I have 3 games because the games mean a little bit more. And I think it would have more people's attention because the playoff brackets are slowly but surely forming up. I just think that would be more of an attention grabber, in my opinion.
Well, one of the big things the NFL's doing to get more attention of Thursday Night Football is they're streaming it for free on Twitch.
That will work too. I'm saying that will work too, but I don't know. I don't know what the NFL is doing with this Thursday night thing. I really don't.
I mean, I was
There
about
was
to
a
Anybody
say,
has a
game
clue.
a
If
few
anybody
years
has a
ago.
clue.
A few years ago, there was a game that my wife, who is a Colts fan, couldn't stand. That was when the Colts played the Broncos in Denver.
I remember that
We
one.
were excited to watch the game until it kicked off. And
I
by
remember that.
halftime, my wife was saying, I'm going to bed. My wife was saying, I'm done. I'm
There's
going to
only
bed.
one Thursday night football game that people will always tune into, and it's sad to say that it's always Chiefs Chargers. Everyone tunes into that because everyone
Yeah.
knows how close those games are always.
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, and a couple of weeks ago, I actually went to the Thursday night football pregame show. I don't live that far from MetLife for
Mhm.
the Patriots and Jets, so I was there for that. Met Ryan Fitzpatrick. Snow, you saw the picture.
Yes.
Met Fitzy.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
he was
did.
cool. Yeah, he was a cool guy. Yeah, but the games just aren't entertaining. To be honest, the last couple years, from what I've seen on Amazon Prime, there have only been 2 games that have stood out. And that's the Bucks and Falcons from a couple of weeks ago, and
Mhm.
the first one, the Chargers and Chiefs, like
Yep.
my guy just said right here.
Like
I don't
I look
know.
at the rest of the Thursday night football schedule, and it's like you got snooze fest, maybe an interesting game, snooze fest, and then you get to Thanksgiving, and it's like, okay, there you go, there's your good games.
Right.
It's like you said, Chris. They should push Thursday night football to Thanksgiving and beyond that.
Yeah, that's how it used to be. And
Mhm.
then, but I'll even say this. Even when Fox had the Thursday night package, the games weren't bad.
No,
You
the
get what I'm
games were
saying?
actually fun to watch.
Yeah, these on Amazon.
Mm-mm. And Amazon Prime paid $80 million for what?
And for those
Exactly.
who are wondering what game I said could be close, it's the second match between Bengals Ravens, and we all know from that red zone coverage we did how entertaining that game was.
Oh yeah,
That's why I'm like, this one could be entertaining.
we were quite busy when we did our first ever red zone episode. We were quite busy.
But
all right, let's break this one down, or at least attempt to break this one down, because there are 2 games we're going to break down here with Chris with us. Let's start here with the Broncos and the Saints in the Superdome. And how far have the Saints fallen?
Yeah, I was never really sold on them. Okay, anybody, like I always say, anybody could put 40 on the Carolina Panthers.
Mhm.
You guys, I'm not playing, but I could line you guys up on the field with 8 other guys, and we put up 40
Exactly.
on the Carolina offense. I mean, what they did against Dallas was impressive because they were able to get Alvin Kamara going, run the football, defense handled the rest, and it looked like Derek Carr was in control. He looked comfortable, and not only that, he seemed to really be buying into what Clint Kubiak wanted to do as an offensive coordinator. Ever
Right.
since then, the Eagles game, I think, broke them because ever since then, they have not been able to climb that ladder, nor have they been able to win any football games. They haven't won since they beat.
And it doesn't really help. Derek Carr is still going to be out with that oblique injury either.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Derek Carr. You never know what version of him you're going to get. One week he looks really good. Next week he looks mediocre and average at best. Then you look at Denver. Denver, they've played better than I think a lot of people expected. What opened my eyes with them was them coming to East Rutherford, coming to MetLife, and punching the Jets in the mouth, taking away the run, and doing something I wouldn't do a decade ago. That's put the game in the hands of Aaron Rodgers. And he couldn't do it, throwing a lot of different pressures and looks and a lot of exotic blitzes. And that's a Vance Joseph defense, making them earn every yard, making them work on every blade of grass. Sean Payton is back at the Superdome, and tonight is also Drew Brees night. He gets his number retired, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's stay with the Jets. The Aaron Rodgers experiment. Your thoughts so far?
It's gone exactly how I thought it would, because he doesn't move the needle for them. The Jets now are a team that need to rely heavily on the ground, on the running game. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Look at the 2 games that they've won this year. When they beat Tennessee, Rodgers threw the ball 26 times. No, yeah, 30 times. When they beat New England, he threw the ball 26 times. You notice anytime he goes above 30, they lose. That game I was just talking about with the Denver Broncos, he threw the ball 42 times. In London, he threw the ball 54 times, along with 3 interceptions. He's not the guy that can take a game over with his arm. And all I know is if I'm a defense now, I'm playing zone, and he's throwing over the numbers. Run the football.
Yeah.
I called that game on Monday night against Buffalo.
You did.
And anytime good things happen with the Jets offense, it was because they gave Breece Hall the ball. Devontae Adams doesn't move the needle for this football team. The only thing I will say is the only person that benefits from this is Garrett Wilson.
And Garrett Wilson really hasn't benefited, if you think about it, if you force Aaron to throw the ball away from his target. And that's been happening since week 1 when they went out to Santa Clara and they got socked in the mouth.
Yeah.
They forced Aaron Rodgers to beat them.
Yeah.
And the problem is Aaron Rodgers doesn't have mobility anymore.
No, he
doesn't. Not that he
listen.
really did in the first place, but the ankle injury that he's been fighting has been keeping him even more, one-dimensional.
He looks all of 40 years old. And this is no disrespect to anybody who's 40 or older.
I was about to say I'm coming up on 38, man. Coming up on 40. I'm 38 now.
I'm beyond 40.
Look,
no offense taken.
Listen, Brian, you're still in your prime, okay?
I already know I'm well past my prime, so don't even
appreciate that. But Aaron Rodgers is hurt, and the Jets won't say anything. Why?
Yeah, I don't get it. The Jets are just a mess. They're a M-E-S-S mess.
Thank you for that.
I'm just
saying. It's the same thing that applies to the Brooklyn mess, i.e. the Brooklyn Nets, but that's a later conversation. There's a huge game on Sunday, and it ain't Sunday night football. It doesn't happen in the early window. It happens in the primetime window at 4:25 in Santa Clara. The Niners are going to get the test of their lives this year. They're in first place, and you pointed it out very astutely last week, that last week's game with Seattle, was a get-right game for San Francisco, although they still can do better in the red zone. They're going to have to do better in the red zone against the undefeated Chiefs. And secondly, Isaac Guerrero showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah, he did. Like we all said, that's a huge win for the San Francisco 49ers. But again, they still have the issue of leaving so many points on the table. And they can't do that against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, because you're not going to beat Patrick Mahomes and company kicking field goals. Plain and simple. I look at this game, and I mean, these teams know each other very, very, very well. Kansas City, they necessarily haven't looked the greatest. However, I consider this their preseason. They don't care about this time of the year. They really don't.
They don't. They really don't.
So the way I look at it, just as long as they have the ball rolling in mid-November, going into December, January, and that final Sunday of the year, which is Super Bowl Sunday, that's all that's important.
They'll be in will be in New Orleans.
Look, dare I say,
I've already put it in the book. I've already put it in the book, and my wife has signed off on it. They will be in New Orleans with no problem.
If we do not make the Super Bowl, I'm blaming you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am, because you're the one that's jinxing us right now.
And now,
I'm not jinxing anybody. I just go off of what these two eyes are watching right now. And these two eyes are watching the 2-time world champion Kansas City Chiefs come into this game on Sunday undefeated against a beat beat down 49er team. And the most surprising thing of all, and I said this to Jody when we were in pre-production, as much as has gone wrong for the 49ers, and I mentioned it after week 1, a horrifying trend is leaving points on the table. At least this week, miraculously, they still own the NFC West.
Yeah, they do.
Well, Brian, you also have to realize Justin Fields has thrown just as many touchdowns as Mahomes, has more yards than Mahomes, and has thrown less interceptions than Mahomes. Even has a better passing rating than Mahomes.
But it's October. What did Chris just say a moment ago? November and beyond is the Chiefs' regular season.
It doesn't matter when we have what did I say? Walmart Tyreek Hill at wide receiver 1.
Oh my God.
Xavier Worthy is Walmart Tyreek Hill. I'm sorry. He is way slower than Hill by a lot. And he runs routes like it's a casual Sunday.
Is he? I mean, he ran a 4.240. That's pretty quick.
Yeah, but he still doesn't run routes like Hill. Hill can actually run a route.
Yeah, that's
Xavier Worthy, he's just trotting. That's all he's doing. He's on a casual Sunday run.
Xavier Worthy doesn't put his foot in the ground and go.
Tyreek does.
Yes.
Which is why he's nicknamed Cheetah.
Mm-hmm. I was expecting that kind of speed from Xavier Worthy.
And then you also got to remember, Marquise Brown is confirmed out for the season due to his surgery.
Ouch.
So the man we just paid a lot of money to get, Hollywood Brown, is out.
Mm-hmm.
Rashee Rice is probably not going to be back until November with his, I believe it's just labeled as a knee. We're not sure if it's an MCL, but we're definitely certain it's not an ACL tear.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So he's not out for the season.
So he's good.
Our wide receiver 1 is technically Travis Kelce, and he hasn't been having a great season, but I'm guaranteeing you this is where he starts to pick it up because we have no other receivers to throw to.
Taylor Swift.
What are you going to trust?
Taylor Swift will be going on.
You know what's bad?
Going on tour soon. He'll be fine.
You know what's bad? I said the same thing for the AFC Championship, and Chris and I talked. I said the same thing for the AFC Championship, and Chris asked me to make a pick the day that we talked, and I said I got to go with the Chiefs. I trust Travis Kelce more than I trust Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. And Andrews just was getting back into the offense.
And the thing is, you even see this year, it's like Mark Andrews is nowhere to be found. It's all about Isaiah Likely right now.
And look, dating back to that AFC Championship game, it was the simple fact that experience really played a factor for the Kansas City Chiefs. But not only that, the most impressive thing about Kansas City was they showed you they could win a football game in a different way. They turned that game into a street fight.
They made it ugly.
They gave Baltimore a taste of their own medicine. What do I always say? The bully don't like to get bullied.
Nope.
And I apply that a lot to the San Francisco 49ers as well. So back to this Chiefs 49ers game. The Chiefs, they have to get pressure on Brock Purdy somehow, someway, and they got to bottle up the run and put this game in the hands of Brock Purdy. Whereas Kansas City, they got to find ways to get Kelce the football in the middle of the field, which I don't think should be too much of a problem. This game's going to be close. I preview it today on the site, so be on the lookout for it. I'm not going to give a preview, a prediction just yet, because then y'all would know who I have winning. You know, that y'all would know what to expect when I post the preview. But I can't wait for this one. This is going to be a fun one. And then another one I'm looking forward to from the college ranks. Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia and Texas.
I'm going to tell you guys this.
Oh, man.
Texas reminds me of 2021 Georgia. Because I remember them. Snow, we would talk about this all the time. Georgia would make you think that you had a chance, and then they would impose their will. And I see a lot of the same similarities in the Texas Longhorns.
I see the same thing. And that's a game that we have on the network, and you're going to join me for that call. The number 5 rated Georgia Bulldogs and the top rated Texas Longhorns Saturday at 7:30. Our pregame will start at 7, and Chris Simpson and I will have the call for that game. We got fun football this weekend, man. I can't wait.
But I do want to ask Chris, like with how the season's going so far, especially in the NFC, you got the NFC North, the entirety. There's not a single team in the NFC North under 500.
Right.
And you got a surprise start from not only just the Falcons, but also the Saints had a surprise start too. Who do you got winning both of those divisions?
I'm going to go with the Lions in the NFC North. To be honest, I think they're the most complete team in the National Football League. They have the best offensive line in the National Football League. They do enough on the offensive side from a balance perspective. They run the ball. What does that do? That forces defenses to climb into the box, and Jared Goff can do what? Use his play action. There's no shortage of weapons in the passing game. Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have Jameson Williams. Sam Laporta, who I think is a very serviceable tight end. They have the best duo of running backs in the National Football League.
David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Defensively, look, I know they lost Aiden Hutchinson, and I think I can say this on behalf of all of us when we wish that kid a speedy recovery, because that was hideous.
They said he could be back soon because it's not terrible.
I would pull his helmet and I would say, look, young man, we need you for the long term. Do not make this decision now. I know you're emotional. I know it's been a lot for you, but we need you to heal up. So
I definitely think he's going to be on the. I definitely think he's going to be on the bench in the next game, but he's going to not play because I know how I keep forgetting their coach's name, but I know how he runs his offense.
Dan Campbell.
I know how he runs his offense. I know how he likes to run his team. So I know he's not even gonna let the DC even get a chance to put Hutchinson on the field.
Yeah, definitely. And then what the Lions did to the Cowboys on Sunday was just absolutely beautiful. It made my heart warm.
It made my heart sing, man.
Oh my goodness!
It made my heart sing to see that.
It made me so depressed because of how much of a blowout that was. Because of how much of a blowout that was, I couldn't even call the rest of my Falcons-Panthers game on our red zone coverage. Because you were like, all right, we're going to put this to bed.
Listen, I can't tell you how many times I put the Sunday afternoon football graphic up and was tempted to lean back in this chair while Victor was handling the coverage of the Lions and the Cowboys, and just to hear the despair in his voice. You know,
every time he said touchdown.
It's just it did. Let me be honest, it did my heart good. I know I'm gonna pay. I know I'm gonna pay for that.
He's actively texting you right now.
He probably is. To answer Victor's other question, who wins the NFC South? I'm gonna lean toward Tampa because I trust Baker Mayfield more than I do Kirk Cousins. You know, it's not a knock on Kirk, but I trust Tampa's defense a little bit more, and I trust Tampa's running game a little bit more because it just seems like Atlanta never wants to feed Bijan Robinson the football. Why?
Right.
I have no idea. And not only that, I trust Mike Evans and Chris Godwin a lot more than I trust any of the other weapons on the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm going to be honest, from what I've seen from the Falcons, it just seems like Bijan isn't able to get those explosive plays like Algier has been getting, which is why they're not really wanting to run the football much, is because he's not seeing too much out of Robinson. Even in practice, Robinson is not even at his full form right now. I hope that midseason he gets to that. But right now, Algier is the better running back, and that hurts to say.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
The former BYU man, like...
Yeah.
All right. How about some predictions for tonight? Chris, we'll begin with you. Saints and Broncos in New Orleans.
I like Denver. I think they're going to ugly it up. You know, they'll have Bo Nix play ball control. This is a hostile environment he's going into. They're going to run the ball. They'll do it with defense. I don't trust the Saints right now. Denver wins a sloppy yet I guess you could say competitive football game.
Yeah, I'm leaning. I'm leaning the same way. That laugh, that laugh, man. I'm leaning the same way. It's going to be an ugly game. I will probably have my eyes more on baseball than this one, though I have a feeling there's a certain pretty lady that's going to try to convince me to do the Thursday night game and then laugh at me if I think about doing it. But she trusts my decisions, even though she doesn't like baseball. But I'm leaning toward Denver. Dog.
Well, of course, the stat lines, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by BetUS, where the games begin. Denver's a 1-point favorite. Over-under set at 37. I see that basically being the storyline. I got Denver winning this one close. Bo Nix doesn't exactly have to have a perfect game to be successful, but I don't trust New Orleans without Derek Carr under center. Give me Denver in a close one.
Yeah.
Droid, finish this off, brother.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Bugs Bunny, you have to.
Yes, you do.
I mean, like, you got a New Orleans Saints team without Rashid Shaheed, without Derek Carr, and without Chris Olave on your offense.
Mm-hmm.
You
I don't
have
think he needs to say anymore.
Yeah, and then you also have Will Harris gone on your defensive side, plus linebacker Pete Werner. Kalen Saunders is also questionable. You have so much. You have a Saints team that is hurting. They are hurting more than the 49ers. And
yes,
you know, just because the Broncos are without Josh Reynolds doesn't mean much, because they got Cortland Sutton, 277 yards, 2 tutties, and 21 receptions so far this year. I trust Cortland Sutton, Bo Nix more than I trust Spencer Rattler and whoever wide receiver is going to be out there for him. Give me Denver, but I'm not going to take the points.
I don't care about the points. I'm just picking Denver. So we're all unanimous here. Chris Simpson joins us as he does every Thursday with Simpson's Football Chatter. And don't forget, this Saturday, Mr. Simpson will join me for this Donnybrook in Austin, Texas, the 5th-rated Georgia Bulldogs and the top-rated Texas Longhorns. Kickoff is at 7:30. I'll have the play-by-play. Chris will have the analysis. We'll start at 7 with the pregame show. Always a pleasure, my brother. We love you. We thank you very much. And I will talk to you on Saturday.
Can't wait. Love you guys too. Have a great rest of the show. And always, thank you for having me.
Coming up next.
In a world where
I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
I was about to say, dear God.
We're at halftime. I'm going to go get food.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Are you really?
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm
Thanks,
kidding.
no.
I'm kidding. That
Droid walks off. He's getting food. We've hit halftime. We got Deets on the way and our college football picks, in which, by the way, I even found a wild card game to put us up to 11 to predict.
Oh,
today.
jeez. Oh, geez.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've hit halftime. We're back in a deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Whether it's the men's college game,
The way that this season has been going, anything is possible.
the women's college game,
And how passionate Ancient Reef was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
the WNBA,
AJ Williams stood at 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young.
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmaker's blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts.
do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Are you okay now, Droid?
I hate you both.
What? I was kidding when I pushed that. I was kidding when I pushed that button.
I just made it as an excuse to get food. Okay.
I was about to say, what'd I say?
Shut up. You know what you said.
No, I didn't.
You sent that damn picture.
Oh God, I didn't say it. I sent it. There's a difference, and I didn't want to.
You still said it.
I didn't want to see
You
it.
still.
It found me. Gotta love perusing social media.
I saw it.
Told you about
As
that.
you can see, it's on my phone right now, and I'm about to throw up if I look at it any longer.
My phone is silent. There's no way I want to look at that thing.
Meanwhile, the second hour of the show is brought to you by.
Nice. The second hour of this show is brought to you by SeatGeek. Get tickets to the events that you want using the SeatGeek app and using the code Snowman for $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan. Speaking of fans, I got a lot of fans in Chicago that can't wait for me to come home, as I will be home next week, October 22nd and 23rd, along the lakefront, as Snowman in the Morning comes to Chicago live October 22nd and 23rd, starting at 7 a.m. Central Time, going till 9, along the lakefront, right by McCormick Place. So stop by and say hi if you can. And also, we got this one, Georgia and Texas, on Saturday.
One of the games we're actually going to be
getting my tickets to Chicago as we speak.
Like I said,
what'd you say?
I was about to say that's one of the games I've actually got on the list for us to predict coming up.
Yeah, we're going to do this in two parts. We'll do Dietz's top 15, then his games to watch. Then we'll do our predictions, because we know we all go crazy when we do the predictions. Now,
you guys go crazy. I just lose control of the damn thing.
Well, that's your fault.
We blame you, sir.
What I do?
You're a Bruins fan.
Dog's like, come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm 38. Damn it, get it right.
2 years.
Let's have some fun.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Deeds.
That's not just a murmur. That's a full-blown fibrillation.
Yo, Deets, we missed you. You're kind of muted. You're muted, dude.
No,
there you go. There we got it. There we got you.
The gates to Valhalla have opened.
What's going on, guys?
You look about as tired as we feel.
He looks about as tired as he looks about as tired as the Mets
coming off a 12-hour shift. The joys of night shift.
Yeah,
I was about to say he looks about as tired as the Mets bullpen after last night.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, we're back in the same situation as game one. We got blown out 9-0. Came back and won the next one 7-2. So
yeah, it's a long series. All right, let's talk. Let's talk.
It just means we have to go back to LA. That's all.
Yep, so. And beat them there again, which I believe they can do. All right, I said we do this in parts, so we're going to do this in parts. And here's the first part right here. We're going to do Dietz's top 15. And these rankings are presented by BetUS.com. There are some new entrants. There are some teams that fell. So we'll start at 15 with the Texas A&M Aggies.
A&M still looking strong, and they've got a lot of their tough games ahead of them. Of course, their only loss is to Notre Dame, so they got a lot in front of them.
We'll see Notre Dame a little later. At 14, you got the Boise State Broncos.
Like I said last week, they're going to ride the running back all the way to where they can get to. And right now, they're looking like they're going to be the outside of the Power Four. They're going to be the team that gets it.
I think so. At 13, the team that took a tumble from last week, the Tennessee Volunteers.
Well, they took a tumble from them the week before, but from this week, overtime with Florida, that's not going to win you a lot.
Yeah, true. At 12, I told you we'd see this team. That's the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
At Notre Dame, steady and strong, and they look like they've bounced back from whatever happened in Northern Illinois, but the Irish are always going to be a tough team.
Yeah, they are, and I hope it stays that way. At 11, you have the Clemson Tigers.
Another team, steady and strong. The thing I love about Clemson is zero transfer. They have not taken a transfer player since the portal opened.
Dabo Swinney strikes again. That's all I have to say. Dabo Swinney strikes again. All right, we're into our top 10, and at 10, you have the BYU Cougars.
BYU continuing to be undefeated, continuing to stay strong. They got another big time game coming up this weekend. So
yes, they do, and I'm looking forward to it. At 9, we go to the land of the Purdy's and the Iowa State Cyclones.
Iowa State, another one. This is where the Big 12 is going to live. They're going to live at the bottom of the top 10 all year long, and just see if they can get one of these teams to be undefeated by the end.
Yep. At number 8, you have Cam Ward and the Miami Hurricanes.
They got through the scare with Cal, and now we got to see they got a big test. We'll talk about that later on when we do our picks. But big test this weekend, going on the road again.
At 7, you got the LSU Tigers.
LSU Tiger again. Nussmeier, the quarterback. I love the way this kid's playing. He's big, he's strong, and he can throw the ball down the field.
At 6, you have the Ohio State Buckeyes.
We'll get to more of Ohio State breakdown when we get to the top of the rankings here, but Ohio State lost the game. They lost. What they did at the end of that game, it was atrocious.
Yeah.
How do you not kick a field goal? That's coach Ed. How do you let the quarterback run the clock out? Like that was the worst coaching I've ever seen.
And they had timeouts in their back pocket.
I don't understand why they even ran a play. If you're going to run a play, it's got to be, all right, we're just throwing the ball just to run timeout. I just think they wanted to end the game. I don't know what they were thinking.
I don't know what they were thinking either. I called that game, and I couldn't believe I was watching it. I could not believe what I was watching. To the top 5 we go, and at 5 we start with Alabama.
Yep, that Alabama's gonna stay strong, and they got the big game with Tennessee coming up this weekend. Big rivalry game, and it's good to see that rivalry back in action.
It is. It's very good to see that back, and I'm gonna love covering that one. At 4, you got the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Penn State, again, they fall into that category of, they're undefeated, but who have they really beaten? They haven't played anybody yet. And they overtime with USC. USC's now got 3 losses, so that's not going to be a good mark on their thing. That's why they're this far down.
To the top 3 we go, and at number 3, you have a perennial championship contender in the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, and again, that's the difference between Georgia and Penn State. Most people will say, "Oh, Penn State's undefeated; they should be ahead." Yeah, Georgia's loss was at Alabama, but their best win is against Clemson, who's another top 10 team. They destroyed Clemson. And
sure did.
Meanwhile, Penn State hasn't played anybody. That's why I still put Georgia just ahead of them.
It's going to be a fun fight to the playoff. And at number 2, as we'll break down this game even more. At number 2, quack quack, you got the Oregon Ducks.
Again, this was the toss up for me. Was, dude, Oregon and Georgia. I went with Oregon right now. I could easily slot Georgia ahead because, again, yeah, people say, "Oh, Oregon beat Ohio State." Oregon didn't win that game. Ohio State lost. Ohio State lost the game. Oregon didn't win. Ohio State lost.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then, who else? The Texas Longhorns at number 1.
What happened at the Texas State Fair was a massacre. They massacred Oklahoma. Oklahoma didn't stand a chance in that game, and
Oklahoma took the early lead in that game, 3-0.
Yeah, they took a 3-0 lead, and then by the time it was the first quarter, it was 17-3.
It was 17-3.
They were getting smoked.
That's our top 15 presented by BetUS.com. And speaking of what happened at the Texas State Fair, let's go over that game. Oklahoma scored the first 3 points of the game, led 3-0 at the end of 1. Then Texas woke up.
Yeah, what else are you going to do at the Texas State Fair? I mean, by the time everybody got their fried Oreos and everything, Texas was already bombs away, and it just showed that what Texas has going, and that Texas is more than just the offense. Their defense was stout. Mm-hmm. And that was the biggest thing that I was looking at. The second thing is Oklahoma. I don't know what Oklahoma was doing at quarterback because their quarterback cannot throw the ball, and every time he ran the ball, he fumbled. I don't know what they're doing.
And it's a true freshman at quarterback with Michael Hawkins. They started. It's the first ever freshman to start against Texas, and all Steve Sarkisian did, the only 2 words that Steve Sarkisian said to the Texas defense was "sick 'em," and they did.
Yeah, the kid was running for his life. Every play he was running for his life, and there's a reason why freshmen don't play in that game.
Right.
There's a reason.
There's a reason you don't start a freshman in the Cotton Bowl at the Texas State Fair in a game against the number 1 rated Texas Longhorns. It looked like Texas was going to fumble the game away, but then Michael Hawkins realized he was a freshman, and Texas went after him.
And he gave it right back to him.
Oh my gosh! That's it. And went right back to him, and they beat him up for the entire game. They beat him up.
Yeah, I mean that was the one thing I felt bad for the game. I mean, yeah, it's great to be. Hey, I'm a freshman. I'm starting at Oklahoma. I'm starting the Tech. He got beaten up, and I hope he's able to take that as, hey, this is my lumps, and I'm going to come back and get it. He's got a lot more chances to do that. But this was a bad outing. The line looked terrible, and Texas just showed that they have seniors on the defense that just said, we're coming, and we're going to make this kid throw the ball, and he couldn't.
Now to Eugene, Oregon, and the game we started to break down. Oregon did not win this game. I agree with you. I called this game. Start to finish. I called this game, and I rode solo. When my wife comes in, looks at this game, and says, Ohio State's going to pull this one out. And then when I go to bed and she said, did Ohio State pull it out? And I tell her no. She blames me, playfully, of course, for Ohio State losing that game. But Ohio State did it to themselves.
Look, I get it. Maybe you don't want to. Why you wouldn't try a field goal there? I have no idea. Like, I get it. College kicker, probably not going to hit that field goal.
Right.
The percentages on that are probably not that good. But you've got to give it a shot. You're down one with 6 seconds left. Your quarterback cannot run up the middle on any play that happens.
He didn't even look at the sidelines. He did not even look at the sidelines.
It has to be 3 steps and out of bounds or into the dirt. You cannot let time run off. You cannot let time run off the clock. If you miss a field goal there, I'm way more to go. All right, Ohio State, you went into Oregon, you played a tough game, you lost by 1 point. But to lose the way they did, it just shows they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Clock mismanagement at its finest.
Is that going to be is that now a Ryan Day staple? And Chris, it was something that you had predicted when Ryan Day took over. And I remember Dietz saying this to me 6 years ago, when he said Ryan Day is going to have a staple where he continually messes up something. And this is it. It's the clock management.
It's been a problem for him at every step. I mean, you go back to Georgia when they played Georgia in a national semifinal. They had the lead in that game. They had the lead.
A big one.
They had a huge lead, and they let Georgia come back. They had the ball at the end. They just mismanaged the drive. That's just a staple of what Ryan Day is doing.
Yep.
And the thing is, you've got a guy in your ear who's great at clock management in Chip Kelly.
And you didn't listen to him.
There's no excuse for Ryan Day right now.
No. Now, one more game I want to look at. It was the third game I had planned to call, but then I leaned back in my comfy chair, and the next thing I knew, it was 2 a.m. in the morning. That's this one, Kansas State and Colorado. And I said this when Deion Sanders took over as the coach of Colorado. I will say it again. There's a lot of fool's gold going on now in Colorado.
There's a lot. What happened is they let Kansas State get out in front. And what happened with Colorado, they played well to get back in the game.
Yes,
but they were down by too much. They were down by too much by the time they started playing.
Yeah, and that seems to become a trend. That seems to have become a trend with Deion Sanders as the coach. Would you agree?
That's definitely been his MO is when things are going wrong, they just go wrong. They go wrong real fast. And by the time they righted the ship, I mean, there wasn't enough time. I mean, if there's 5 minutes more of that game, Colorado probably wins.
Yeah.
But the problem is there wasn't. They ran out of time.
Yeah, they ran out of time. All right. Speaking of which, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll look at Dietz's games to watch this weekend. And we got some picks to make. You're inside Totally Dietz on the second hour of Snowman in the Morning. Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Whether it's news, The largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant. Weather. Devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States. Inspiration. A breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Whether it's the men's college game,
The way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
the women's college game,
And how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
the WNBA,
AJ Williams on Twitter 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young.
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmaker's blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
We're inside Totally Deets here during hour 2. And boy, we still got a lot to cover as we have hit the bottom of the hour. Now let's take a look at Deets' games to watch. We've picked 3 that we're going to look at. And the first one is this one, Miami at Louisville, and that's noon Eastern.
Yeah, big game for Miami. Last time we saw Miami play on the road was at Cal, and we all know how that happened. And Louisville is not going to give up a 22-point lead in the fourth quarter.
No, they're not.
Miami's really got to bunker down and come out. Cam Ward's got to show that he's really the leader of that team, and I think they really have to rely on the running game.
Let me get Dog's opinion on this game, because I know this is one of the ones that you were looking at also, and we talked about this in pre-show. This is one of your wild card games this weekend, is it not?
Yeah, this was literally on the list. Like 7:20 this morning is when I actually added this game to our pick list, because something just screamed out at me. Miami's trying to stay undefeated. Louisville has been hard-nosed the last handful of games. Mm-hmm. Something tells me this is going to go down to fourth quarter possessions. And I cannot wait to see how this game plays.
Here's the thing I have with Louisville. They're coming off of a home loss against SMU, a game that they should not have lost in the first place. And yet they surrendered a lead against SMU. I'm about to say LSU. They surrendered a lead against SMU and allowed SMU to run away. They can't allow Miami to run away, especially, Deets, I come back to you. They cannot allow Cam Ward to be Cam Ward in this game.
Well, I think they can't, but I really think the game changer for this game is Damian Martinez. And we haven't seen him have a breakout game in the Miami backfield. This is a kid who led the Pac-12 in rushing last year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is a kid who can run the football. I think Miami really has to run the football here because they have to keep the ball away from Louisville.
Yeah, they do, because Louisville loves to put up points and they love to put up yards, and they're going to try to do both on Saturday. Second game we're going to look at, this one here, Alabama and Tennessee in the SEC, 104,000 maniacs inside the checkerboards at Neyland Stadium. Deets, your thoughts?
Both teams need to win this game. I mean, more so Tennessee than Alabama can overcome where they're at right now. But
yeah,
this is a statement game for Tennessee. They Josh. We all know Josh Heupel's offense. Alabama struggled with them last year with Nick Saban as their coach. It'll be interesting to see how they handle that pressure and just the pressure of that offense of play after play after play. You cannot give up the big play against them.
Upstairs to the dog on this one. We all talked about this again in pre-show. It's in Knoxville. There's going to be 100,000 plus fans, as I mentioned, at Neyland Stadium. But I agree with Deets. This is one Tennessee has to have more than Alabama.
Easily. Tennessee wants to try to make the playoffs this year. They have to beat Alabama in their house. And this is going to be one of those games where if they don't do it, I'm sorry, they're not making the playoffs this year, plain and simple.
Downstairs to Droid, let's have a look in his crystal ball at this particular game. Alabama and Tennessee, it's a 3:30 kick. It's in Knoxville. What do you think would be a big key to this game for Tennessee to pull this one out?
I mean, it's going to be pretty simple for you, Brian. I'm just going to keep it plain and simple. One big thing that they need to realize is they've lost Alabama's lost in Tennessee before. You know, they took that big loss to Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia, but this ain't no Vanderbilt. This is Tennessee.
Right.
This is not a opponent you can even remotely underestimate. No, you have to treat Tennessee like it's the playoffs. And that's what Arkansas did. That's how Arkansas beat Tennessee. They treated it like a playoff game.
All right. And then, of course, the big one that we'll have here on the network, it is Georgia and Texas at 7:30 downstairs to Deets. Have at it.
This is the game that solidifies Texas, and this is the game that's at Tech. Everybody in the chat on Saturday watching all the games, and no matter what game you were watching in the chat on YouTube, you always had people going, "Oh, Texas is not an SEC team. Texas is not an SEC team."
And they just beat the hell out of Oklahoma, who's also an SEC team.
Georgia, Texas is an SEC team.
You know when I thought Texas was an SEC team? Last year when they went into Bryant-Denny Stadium and kicked their ass. I thought they were an SEC team last year, even though they were still playing out of the Big 12 when they went to Alabama and won. This is a big one for Texas, yes, but I think they've already solidified themselves as an SEC team, Deets.
Now, in that fan base, it's not about beating Oklahoma. You know, Texas and Oklahoma again. Texas and Oklahoma are outsiders right now. They're outsiders in the SEC in that fan base. That fan base will not embrace them until they beat Georgia and they beat Alabama. Those are the two games that are going to make people go, all right, Texas is now in the SEC. Because right now, Texas is just, they're there. They don't even mention them as an SEC team. The SEC lifers are never going to accept them if they cannot beat Georgia or Alabama.
I hate you, Droid. That was our theme yesterday. That was our theme yesterday when we did Broad Sectional Confessions. We're like, they're just there. And if you think about what Dietz is saying, he's absolutely right. SEC lifers do not look, at least not yet, at Texas and Oklahoma at SEC teams. I go downstairs to Droid. They're just there right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing, coming from the Big 12, a lot of these SEC teams look at these Big 12 teams and they really underestimate them. And this is Texas and Oklahoma's chance to say, we're not just Big 12 teams no more. No. We're in the SEC now. And you better treat us like we're in the SEC or else we're going to smack you.
And this is the one. This is the one that will solidify Texas in the SEC should they win Saturday night. Upstairs to the dog. Take a peek in your crystal ball at this one.
Georgia needs this more than Texas right now. If Georgia's going to have a chance to make the playoffs, they need to beat Texas in Texas's house. Plain and simple. And right now, I do not think Georgia has the ability to do it. I'm sorry, AJ Styles, but your dogs have got some problems heading into Texas Saturday night.
Well, just on that point, Georgia can recover from this.
Yes,
and Georgia can recover from this by making the SEC. They still have a road to the SEC championship.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they lose to Texas, they would have losses to Texas and Alabama. If they beat Tennessee, they're going to the SEC championship game.
Right.
So, Texas still has to go through Alabama. They still have to go through LSU. They still have to go through all the SEC West teams, Ole Miss. All of those teams are still in front of Texas to stop them from getting to the SEC championship. Georgia can still make the SEC championship game even if they lose this game.
Yeah, they can they can absolutely back their way in and recover from their two biggest losses, should they lose this game on Saturday, would be on the road at Alabama and on the road at Texas. Okay, and both the top five teams. So as you said, Dietz, Georgia can easily recover from this game. Whereas with Texas, with not only a playoff spot on the line, the number one ranking on the line, also plus a whole lot of playoff position rides on the line also for Texas.
And it's gonna come down to how Texas play, how this game plays out. Because what have we all said? We all said things about the Big 12. We talked about the Big 12 for years. I made the statement on the Big 12 where defense is optional. Yes. Now you're in the SEC. They have to show that they can play defense.
Mm-hmm.
They have to show defense. Like it doesn't matter if they come out and win a shootout with Georgia, which is a possibility. Anything could happen. We saw what Georgia can do against Alabama when they came back and started playing in that game. But if this game is a shootout, everybody's going to go, oh, well, this isn't a real SEC team. Wait till they play, get in a defensive struggle.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come down to how this game plays out. And they can't just shoot out. They got to show up on defense.
They do. Let's take one final break. And when we come back, we're going to go nuts with our picks. And this time, Dietz is picking with us. Uh-oh. We got some Donnybrooks coming up. And we may even take a peek in the group of Power 5, if time permits. Back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meat beef of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete.
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
We kind of premiered something this morning, and it's this. Yep, the hockey god now has an intro, and I think I woke him up with that. Every week we'll have our.
I've been like working on this Mellow Dotson cutout so I can make you a thumbnail for next week's rivalry game.
Oh, you want to see it again? Of course you do. I put that together this morning. Every week we'll have our spin around the NHL with the hockey god himself, Mr. Droid, and we're going to try to make it a day. We're going to try to make it a daily happening. All right, time to wrap this up as we speed down the stretch here, and it's time for us to make some picks, college football style. I will flash the game, and Dog will give us the numbers, and we'll go around the horn and make our picks. Take it away, Dog.
Let's start this party off. Number 6, Miami going into Louisville. Miami is favorite. Before we get too much further, all the lines and picks are brought to you by BetUS.com. BetUS, where the game begins. Miami's favored by 5, and the over-under is set at 61. Snowman, kick it.
61. You better make it
the over-under.
You better make it 71. You know, I go back. I liken this game to 2002 when Louisville played number 4 Florida State and beat them. Now, granted, it was in the monsoon. It was the first year at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. But the hell with it. I'm going with Louisville, and I'm taking the points.
Deets, hammer down.
I'm going with Louisville as well, and I think they keep it low. I think they keep it low scoring. I'm actually taking the under in this one.
Droid?
I'm a big, where Louisville has always produced some elite quarterbacks throughout the years. And I think they got another one on their hands here, and so that's the reason I'm going to pick Louisville.
All right, dog. It's on you.
I'm flying solo on this one. Cam Ward is too much. Miami's going to keep their undefeated season going.
All right. We go to Champaign, Illinois for the next one. A battle of two ranked teams, Michigan at Illinois. And for the first time since 2000, these two teams are ranked. Dog?
Michigan, 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is set at a measly 44. And I'm thinking it's going to be higher. But Snowman, lead us off.
I'm going with Illinois. Going with the home team. They got screwed in 2000. Yes, I still remember that game when a fumble was not called a fumble and Michigan was allowed to keep the football. This ends Michigan's season. I'm going with the Fighting Illini at Memorial Stadium. My buddy Brian Barnhart, the longtime voice of the Fighting Illini. Bring me a victory, my man. ILLINI. I'm going with Illinois.
Deets, what you got?
Too much Michigan running game. Edwards will have his day. He'll eat on that Illinois defense. I'm going too much Michigan. I'll take Michigan.
Droid?
Neither of these teams are amazing. I'll say that. They're not amazing. There's nothing to ogle about. But I like Luke Altmaier a bit too much.
All right.
So I'm going to go with the Fighting Illini.
Wrap it up, dog.
Give me Big Blue in Michigan. They're going to make Illinois a feast. I got a feeling it's going to be one of those games, but I'm saying it's going to be a lot closer than what people are thinking.
Okay, so we're split on that one. Let's go to Norman. We go to South Carolina at Oklahoma. It's all yours, Shane.
Oklahoma's favored by 3. Over-under is only set at 40.5. Snowman,
I'm going with the visitors. I'm going with South Carolina. They nearly snuck out of Bama with a win had they not missed a 2-point conversion and left 10 points on the table. They don't leave those points on the table. They beat Alabama at Bryant-Denny. They're going to go into Norman and make Oklahoma feel like they're back. They should be back in the Big 12. I'm going with South Carolina.
Deets?
Yeah, what a game with Spencer Rattler getting his first NFL start. You got the Spencer Rattler Bowl here with South Carolina at Oklahoma. I'll go with the last place Spencer Rattler was at. I'll take the Gamecocks as well.
Right?
Give me the Gamecocks.
Clean sweep with a whole bunch of cockiness going on. I'm taking South Carolina.
Let's go to Atlanta. We find the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, or as Keith Jackson once said, and Deets, you remember this, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame Gelat. Of course, that was his description when they played Michigan in 1989. We got the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame Gelat taking on the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech.
And the thing is, this ain't going to be in Georgia Tech's house. This is in the Superdome.
It's in Mercedes-Benz. It's in Mercedes-Benz.
And Notre Dame favored by 11. The over-under set at a clean 49. Snowman, what you got?
Okay, this is in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's in Atlanta. Notre Dame is ranked. Notre Dame is favored. All right, I'm going to do this against my better judgment, and I know my wife is going to pop me one for this, but the hell with it. I'm going with a home team to cover and to win. I'm going with Georgia Tech.
Deets?
You think this is the home team? Notre Dame is going to pack that. At a neutral site, Notre Dame is going to pack that stadium. Notre Dame is the home team in this game. I guarantee you there will be more Notre Dame fans there than there are Georgia Tech.
I believe it. I believe it.
It's going to come down to Marcus Freeman's defense. I think I'll take Notre Dame.
Good.
Give me that rambling wreck, Georgia Tech.
Go for it, dog.
I'm sorry, but even football Jesus can't do anything against the house that once held the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Give me Georgia Tech.
And you know something, Deej? You're absolutely right. Notre Dame's going to sell that stadium out on its own. All right, they always
a neutral site game is a Notre Dame home game. There's no way.
I mean, I should know better. I've been to 2 games at Soldier Field where Notre Dame was supposed to be at a neutral site, and they blew out Soldier Field. I should know better. But that's why we make our picks, and that's why I agree with Dietz when he said this to me 8 years ago when he first joined me. College football is so much more fun to look at. Speaking of fun, let's go to Tucson, Arizona. We got the Colorado Buffaloes and the Arizona Wildcats.
Arizona's favored by 3. Over-under is set at 58. No, man?
Arizona's going to blow Colorado out. That offensive line is a sieve. The defensive line is even worse. And Travis Hunter is going to get worn out playing both sides of the ball, though he's a hell of an athlete. That Arizona is licking their chops after getting blown out by BYU, and they're at home. Give me Arizona to win against Colorado.
Deets?
I'm going with the Buffaloes. Travis Hunter, if he wants a Heisman Trophy, this has got to be his game. He's got to take over the game. Basically, say, Shadur, give me the ball. Just throw, go Keyshawn and just throw me the damn ball.
I haven't heard that in years. I love it.
Droid, what you got?
Give me the Buffaloes, honestly. I love Arizona to death, but it's Colorado has just been an amazing team. I mean, they kept it close against Kansas State. We can't lie there. So I'm gonna go Colorado.
All right.
I've got Arizona in this one. I'm sorry, Shadur, but you ain't got a chance in Arizona.
I don't trust Shadur Sanders. I just don't. Don't ask me why. I just don't. Let's go to Little Rock. SEC matchup, LSU and Arkansas, dog.
LSU is favored by 2.5, and the over-under is set at 55.5. Snowman, this is going to be a close one.
This is indeed going to be close. I'm going to take the under, but I'm going to take LSU to cover and to win this game.
Deets?
Yeah, too much Nussmeier at quarterback. Like I said, he's too big, and he can just throw the ball down the field. Arkansas don't have the horses to keep with the LSU wide receivers.
Right.
I watched the ending of that LSU Ole Miss game, and oh my goodness, Nussmeier was a dog.
Mm-hmm.
So give me Nussmeier and the LSU Tigers.
Clean sweep. I believe that means go Tigers.
All right, let's go to Evanston, Illinois. The Wisconsin Badgers taking on my beloved Northwestern Wildcats with Dave Bennett on the play-by-play call on WGN. Dog?
Wisconsin's favored by 7. The over-under set at 41.5. Something tells me that this game is going to be a lot closer than what people are thinking.
And I'm going to do this. This is the second time I've done this. Droid made me pay for it the first time. I don't think I'll pay for it this time. I'm going with the home team, and I'm going with the Wildcats because every time these two teams get together, when Wisconsin is favored, and it's been true since 1995, Northwestern always has a trick up their sleeve. I think they got a trick up their sleeve. This time, his name is Cam Porter. I'm going with the Northwestern running game to beat the Wisconsin Badgers.
Deets?
Yeah, I'm going with Northwestern just to set up the big game next week.
All right.
Which is Northwestern and Iowa.
The
big Iowa game.
Yes.
So to make that game important, Northwestern's got to pull it out. So I'm going with Northwestern.
And you's got to get this one before we see the Iowa Hawkeyes. Go ahead, Droid.
Give me Wisconsin. I'm sorry. I've been right when I've picked against Northwestern so far. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Give me Wisconsin.
Oh boy.
I'm taking Northwestern because I want to see a fight in Iowa.
I want to see a fight in Iowa also. Let's go to the Swamp. The Kentucky Wildcats against the Florida Gators. Dog?
Funny thing is, before I rechecked the line this morning, this game was listed at even odds, and now it's swung in favor of Kentucky by 1.5. The over/under is set at 42.5.
Kentucky's going to force me to pick them. They're going to force me to pick them. Hell with it. Kentucky to cover and to win. Hell with it. I don't trust Florida, even at home.
Deets?
Just the fact that this game was set at even right off the rip just tells you everything you need to know about Florida. I'm taking Kentucky. I'm taking Kentucky, and it's not even going to be close.
Good.
Kentucky.
He doesn't even look at the game.
I'm flying solo on this one. I'm taking Florida, but it's going to be a dogfight.
You'll be sorry.
I've got a 2-game lead in the standings. I can afford one.
I'll say it again. You'll be sorry.
Don't make me turn this into rabbit season.
But then again, my wife has said that to me. All right, let's go to Morgantown, West Virginia. We got the Kansas State Wildcats and the West Virginia Mountaineers.
KSU is favored by 3. Over/under is set at a staggering 56. Tells me we got a barn burner coming.
I'm even going to give a score for this game. Kansas State 44, West Virginia 38, but I think it'll require a 5th period to get there.
Deets?
They say lightning doesn't strike twice. And last time a Kansas team was in West Virginia, lightning hit the stadium. So I'm taking Kansas State. I think Kansas State is going to blow. They're going to blow out West Virginia.
Good.
Does this look not tell you everything you need to know?
Give me Kansas State. Let's move on.
Lightning may strike twice, but I'm saying it's going in favor of West Virginia. I'm taking the home team in this one.
All right, and this is the one that we have saved for last. Let's go to Austin, Texas.
You skipped one, Snowman.
Oh, no, I didn't.
You forgot Bama, Tennessee.
Nah, leave that off the board. Okay, Bama, Tennessee. Before I flash this one, Bama, Tennessee. Go ahead.
Bama favored by 7. Over/unders at 56.
Tennessee for the upset. I'm calling it right now. If I'm wrong against Bama for the 3rd time this year, then I'm wrong for the 3rd time this year. I'll take that L proudly. But I got the home team. I got Tennessee.
Deets?
Too much Jalen Milroe. I'm going with Alabama.
Right.
Bama bounce back game. Give me Bama.
And I'm taking Bama myself. I'm sorry, Tennessee, but your checkers are about to turn black and white.
Yeah, I believe it. Now the feature game. Now the feature game that we'll have on Snowman Multimedia Saturday night. The 5th-rated Georgia Bulldogs take on the top-ranked Texas Longhorns.
Texas is favored by 4.5. The over/under set at 56. Snowman, you got this game on the stick.
I do.
Who you got on the board?
I think the Horns solidify themselves as an SEC team. I mean, I love my Bulldogs. I've loved them since 1980. But as Dog once said, I may be a homer, but I ain't stupid. Give me the Texas Longhorns to cover and to win this game in Austin in front of 102,000.
Deets?
As I said before, this is the game where Texas has to prove they're an SEC team. Georgia's already an SEC team. I'm taking Georgia to win.
It could go either way. It could definitely go either way. Horns. He's going with the Horns.
And all I got is horns down.
Oh,
he's going with the dogs.
The fake.
He's going with the dogs.
Give me the dogs.
And all I gotta say is,
don't do it.
What? Don't do what?
Don't do it. I know what you're gonna do.
He's gonna try and do the chant.
Don't do it.
Coming down the track.
Oh God.
Give me
my
Georgia.
guess. You know what? This could go this
Either
game
way.
could go either way. And this might be the first of, and I've said this before and I've been wrong, but I don't think I'll be wrong here. This could be the first of not only 2, but maybe 3 with these 2.
And ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget all the lines and picks are brought to you by BetUS.com. BetUS, where the games begin. Use code Snowman for 125% deposit match. Let's get out of here.
Let's do that.
The big question, Snowman, is I know you're going to call this game. Are you going to balance out the Georgia call? Are you going to say
yes?
Are you going to call?
I'm going to be totally.
Our Longhorns have the ball at the Longhorn this yard line.
You know what?
Every single call is going to be dogs on this side, dogs on that side. The dogs are doing this.
Listen, I know both announcers very well. Scott Howard will call the game for the Dogs on the Georgia IMG radio network, on the Georgia Learfield radio network. And of course, one of my best friends in broadcasting. I hope to get him on the show soon. The longtime voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way, will voice the action for the Texas Longhorns. Deeds, always a pleasure, my man. We love you very much. You make college football fun, and we appreciate you.
I appreciate you saying that, but college football is just fun.
Yes, it is.
I just report it. It is so much. It's so much fun to cover college football.
Thanks, Deeds. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Deeds.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
Don't forget, this Saturday night, we got the big one, the Georgia Bulldogs and the Texas Longhorns. And I'm going to call the game for both sides. As these ask me, am I going to be fair in calling this game? I most certainly am, because I heard both networks.
What's that coming down the track?
Shut up.
Shut it!
Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. Football Friday tomorrow. So long, everybody. And by the way, big dog,
what?
You a bitch.
What
See
did
you
I say?